What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 7 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Archaon the Everchosen campaign. I was almost about to say a Gulator campaign, as we saw last time, it was Gulator's show. Once again, he proved his worth as the altar of the Crimson Harvest was attacked by Wulfric and another of his stacks, and Wulfric was fended off and his armies destroyed by Gulator. I imagine Wulfric will probably have another army running around somewhere, just judging by the fact that he has 7 settlements remaining, but it'll probably not show up until all the way back here, and most likely it'll be Wulfric himself leading it one more time, so hopefully we'll be able to vassalize him, and just gotta make sure that we leave him the right location, as in don't accidentally leave him in a dark citadel or a dark fortress. Or rather, why do I keep saying citadels? I keep calling these citadels and the Chaos Dwarf 1 citadels, etc. Anyway, in terms of what we gotta do this time, we're gonna start the episode up as promised with Archaon attacking Karakazor, the last stronghold of Grimgor's Ard Boys, where Grimgor himself has decided to hide out. He always likes to look for a good scrap. Well, this time, the scrap will come to him. Before we jump on that, though, looks like once again we did make the threshold for the engagement, and thus this episode will again be an hour long, and the offer continues to stand. 400 likes and 50 comments, and the next episode will be an hour long as well. Archaon, let's level you up and let's get into it. And what do we have in terms of points? I mean, I guess since we've already started going through Hammer and Anvil, we may as well just keep leveling up the Chaos Knights. It'll be a while until we can upgrade our various Marauder Horse Masters to full Knights, but that's okay. Archaon, you're going to move to Karakazor as you are. And, we need a level on Harry Hammer Smash as well. Alright, we'll do that in a second, and ooh, a bunch of pump wagons. They're not the spiky rollers, though, so shouldn't be as concerning. Harry? I guess this is the only thing you're missing, Savage Grace, so you may as well have Savage Grace, sir. Alright, and one other thing. Ooh, we have another Dragon Ogre here. But we're bleeding cash. We can get ogres if we wanted to as well. Like regular ogres, not dragon. Ooh, hello. Well, if it isn't Greasy's stacks, it's not Greasy himself. But they do appear to be trying to hold on to this camp, so that might be something fun for Archaon to do as well. It might be something fun for him to do as well, indeed. I feel like we should just get the Dragon Ogre because we have Kolek nearby. Alright, here's what we'll do. We'll summon the Dragon Ogre and try not to bankrupt ourselves. Hey, it's working. It's sort of working. And then you, Sir Kolek, can do this. For this one battle, you can trade the 2 Chaos Armored Trolls back to Archaon, but take the Dragon Ogre for yourself, which should be a change in about 100 gold per turn, and then you and your little Dragon Ogre friends can come in as reinforcements. Away we go, unless I'm mistaken. You don't need to level Kolek. And maybe we should have done some of your items, but we don't need to. Let's hope that this works as a cinematic battle. Depends on the gate. Let's find out. Alrighty, I tire of this. Interesting, Archaon, interesting. Well, we have been searching for Mr. GRIMGOR for quite a while through all the mountains of Morn, and, well, by the 4, we have found him. Archaon may be tired for searching, but he will search no longer. Breach in the wall via Shadowstone and head directly for GRIMGOR himself. Looks like GRIMGOR wanted to back off a little bit, but too little, too late, as Archaon and Dorgar are here. GRIMGOR is still an absolutely massive of orc, and even makes Archaon look relatively small by comparison, but, well, that's not what matters, as just like we saw Archaon cast down Kolek, GRIMGOR's already at half HP, and Archaon is more or less at 75. A few more hits, and I'm sure the duel will be going in Archaon's favor. We do activate the Potion of Toughness to reduce the slight amount of damage that Archie takes, as well as make sure that, there we go, down goes GRIMGOR, and very nice, and to make sure that Archie heals up a teensy bit. In the meantime, Archie was not the only one that made it into the settlement. He will, however, help the other portion of our forces out by dropping a Searing Doom upon the orc boys and whatnot. But the forces of, or the Chaos Knights and whatever else we have in here should be doing fairly okay. We are going to split our forces up, send one giant and one unit of trolls each way, and split up our aspiring champions as well, and just to make sure that we can kill quickly in both directions, rather than sending Archaon out by himself to the side. And I'm sure he would be fine if we did, and don't get me wrong, it's just that he would take too long to bring down everybody in his way. Alright, I mean, Archaon doesn't have the same kind of splash damage ability as somebody like Torox does, after all, so he'll need a little bit of help to mince those infantry that bit quicker. He does have his spells to rely upon, however, and I'm sure he's racked up plenty of damage and will rack up plenty more as those Searing Dooms continue to drop. Prince Ograx continues trying to make his way up the hill with the giant, or one of the giants, and all of our knights behind him. And it looks like the orcs are having not the best time trying to defend this particular choke point. All four of the units that were there routing, Archaon giving chase to some of those snotling pump wagons, and just generally running around being a complete menace. Now, you'd think that once the entire enemy army saw GRIMGOR drop, they'd probably just run. And maybe fight each other in their attempts to try to run away all the quicker. Anyway, giant and aspiring champions are in it to win it. There we go, that poor Gobbo. Giant could have oh my lord, he just exploded like 4 Gobbos with that swing. I'm really entertained by watching the giants here. Alright, balance of power looks pretty darn okay at about an 85, maybe closing in on 90% in our favor. We continue working our way up the ramp, but tactically there isn't really much to say about this particular battle. Ograx is peeled away from the rest of our army just to make sure that he distracts this unit of arrow boys and minces them a little bit, but prevents them from firing into the Chaos Knights and possibly the Giant as well, though it looks like we're not having too much trouble here whatsoever. Harry is also trying to help out and join the fray, although the Knights are once again a little bit in his way. But if the Knights start having, well, it's unlikely, but if they start having a little bit of trouble with the enemy, then we can send Harry in to hold the ground. Out here, Archaon has peeled away once more from the rest of his forces, running up way ahead, but not to where we've got Chaos Warriors, Armored Trolls, and the Aspiring Champions moving in to help. Ooh, and this portion of the map is much lighter and easier to see, and that's nice. There we go, Giant moving in to help those trolls out. A nice swing of that club and more units explode from it, and not in a good way. Aspiring Champions and Chaos Warriors alike are moving in, and well, the Thunder and Lightning heralds the arrival of Kolek, who has made his way onto the field. Gonna start that bombardment, which actually lasts 30 seconds of constant lightning drops, or bombardments, on the enemy. Not that Archaon's forces needed really the help here, but, well, I'm sure Kolek wanted to join the fray. Kolek made his way through the other portion of the wall via another Shatterstone right here, because his reinforcements arrived over on that side. And I wanted to make sure that he could hit the enemy from the other side as well, if needed. And though by the looks of it, it wasn't really. Balance of power about 95% in our favor now. Knights still fighting. And you gotta love this about Chaos Knights. Like the Grail Guardians or Blood Knights, they're able to fight in melee constantly, rather than constantly needing to cycle charge and whatnot. Biggins are standing against them here as well, though, and they do have a decent amount of armor piercing on them, so we do have to be wary of taking some damage. And it looks like the Chaos Knights of Tzeentch in particular have lost about 25% of their HP. Not a single unit has dropped as yet, though, which is just fine, and by the looks of it, the Biggins, at least, are routing. And only the regular orc boys are left, and they're not going to be nearly as problematic. Giant trying to make his way towards or through the press of enemy units. Apply that trample and that little bit of splash damage. Gotta appreciate the mass there, and there we go. With that, the rest of the enemy army shatters, and the battle is ours. No problem at all. Neither GRIMGOR nor the last of the defenders of Karakazor, well, I guess Orky defenders of the last settlement of GRIMGOR's Ard Boys. Alright, there we go. A nice little fight, a nice duel between GRIMGOR and Archaon, though it certainly highlights Archaon's need for some sort of healing ability or regeneration beyond that potion of toughness. If we can get the, I forget what, a Seed of Rebirth, I would put that on Archaon, though I would wager Kolic would get more mileage out of something like that, though I also don't know whether Chaos can get the Seed of Rebirth. I'm sure they have some kind or kinds of equipment that give them regen. Archaon got 461 kills and 61k damage. Very, very nice. Looks like Ograk's got 10k and 2.4k on Harry the Hammer, but the issue with him is mostly that he just has a tendency to get blocked. He'll probably shine a lot more in situations where we have an infantry line clashing with another infantry line, which we haven't had a lot in the past few battles with the settlement assaults. Aspiring Champions did decently, 111 kills, if nothing else. The Knights of Tzeentch always carrying the day, and we're definitely going to put them in their own army. And eventually, the Trolls did well, the Giants always, and decently, and this is the one time the Hell Cannon did not do well, but that's mostly because it wasn't there. Attacking troops, just shooting down enemy towers. Kolic also managed to get 27k damage despite being so late into the battle. Happy with the result. GRIMGOR, not so much. It's pointless to subjugate him because he'll just revive and attack us anyway, so we're going to occupy. I wonder, what would happen if you subjugate a faction that will... Has anybody tried this? So, you know you can do that check mark at the beginning that allows diplomacy to be active for endgame scenario factions. Would subjugating a faction prior to the endgame scenario keep them in the vassal state, or would they still turn and attack you? Just out of curiosity. But anyway, defeated GRIMGOR gives us leadership reduction for enemy lords and embedded heroes, which is quite interesting, as several of our characters here have the Aura of Chaos, which means they're going to have a massive leadership reduction to any enemy heroes, essentially. A little bit of extra armor for all characters faction-wide, sure, and more damage for Archaon, because he needed it. Dragon Helm, Striking Sword, sort of striking, something along those lines, and GRIMGOR's faction is destroyed. We're not going to be keeping Karakazorn. Actually, wait, 1 second. I was hoping that we could just give this to Grease, give Karakazorn to Greases, and he'd be like, oh sure, I'll be your vassal, but by the looks of it, he doesn't want to, which means it's going to be a problem for him. Or we're going to make it a problem for him. Chaos Vanguard for you, Mr. Kuchar. And do you want to redo your items in some way? Let me just see if we got anything extra for you. Got an additional war banner, I guess, though you don't really benefited from it too much. The Dragon Helms are useless, so we can fuse those into an Armor of Fortune. And very nice, not necessarily for you, we'll probably put that on like Kolic or something. But still nice. Anything else that we can delete? I don't care for the Dragonbane gem, and the Luck Stone is just inferior to Dawn Stones, so we'll do this, fuse those into another Scroll of Airmar. You gotta be kidding me. Game, stop giving us those. How many Scrolls of Aramar do we need? Shrieking Blade and Gold Sigil Sword, I don't care for either of those either, although the Gold Sigil Sword isn't horrible. And we get an Armor of Damnation instead, which is a passive augment that gives you a little bit of armor and damage resistance. Frankly, this seems kind of garbage as well. A, it's only effective in melee, and B, it's only if your hit points are greater than 50%. I mean, maybe not garbage. I mean, it has a decent amount of the buffs that the Armor of Fortune does, just only if you're above 50%. So if you're fighting somebody who's hurting you, it ain't great. Well, nonetheless, let's give you an Armor of Damnation then. And I don't believe we have any swords to give you, partly because I just deleted them. Potion of Strength and hand weapon, we literally have none. Okay, well, maybe that Gold Sigil Sword should have been kept around after all. Next up, we could have Kukar attack the place. I mean, it would probably be a waste of a turn not to, wouldn't it? We also need to move Kolek to join him, but I guess we could do that next turn since he can't really move right now anyway. Also, Archaon, move outside of Azorn and actually channel out here. Keep yourself nice and topped up. Yeah, I'm probably gonna attack. Alrighty, and before I forget to do this, Kolek, you currently have the Helm of Many Eyes, which ain't horrible, but we'll give you the Armor of Fortune. Instead, we'll give the Helm of Many Eyes to somebody else. Kukar. On we go. You are at war with Poxmakers of Nurgle. Oh, huh. Are we able to subjugate Poxmakers of Nurgle if we destroy them down to the last settlement, as in subjugate Kugath? I mean, we were able to subjugate this little Slaneshi faction, Helmrip and the Exquisite Pain, which to me says that you should be able to subjugate it. Is it the Legion of Chaos that's unique, that they can't be subjugated but they can be vassalized, as you guys have pointed out in the comments? Or is it all the major demon factions? Well, I guess we'll find out when we get to Kugath anyway. Kukar, away you go, buddy. Clear war. Now's the time. Let's just, before we do this, and ooh, low casualty. Close victory, but low casualties, eh? Oh, we can actually put the war banner on the skull cannon. I lied. We do get a use out of it. Do we need to fight this? The question, I mean, with the low casualties, it probably isn't super necessary. I mean, yeah, there's some stuff in there, but we'll get plenty of ogre fights, screw it. And we can look for a better fight. And another barbarian, another trickster's helm as well. Oh, I just gave Kolek an armor. We need to get him another one. You also unlocked your path to glory, unbreakable. We need to get that chaos armor. Win a battle against an army containing 5 missile units. Oh, I remember having a difficult time unlocking this in my Valkia campaign, because certain units that you would think are missile units don't count as missile units. Nobbler Trappers probably do, but alas, Archaon is there, so Kukar, you should have maybe moved here as well. We also want to send you to grab Shangyang. So maybe we'll move you down to Maugate and Amble Peak, or maybe we'll ignore it, I'll think about it. But I'll think about it over the next turn, as we're good to end this one. Commandment available. We're in. Here. Okay, so we're not keeping Blood Peak. We can do the Exploit Vessel's Commandment. Probably just transfer Blood Peak to the Dolgan. I mean, the Ogres would probably make better use of this territory, but we probably want at least a couple more things in the Dolgan's hands here. Another thing to think about, but for now, on turn. It's not like we're in a rush. Gondrod and Dodluck will still stay beside each other, which means we'll have a nice big old battle for Archaon again. And a trade agreement throughout the Unclean. Looks like you're hankering for Azazel to come around and show you some things. Let's deal with you after we deal with Wulfric. I mean, once we're dealing with Throg, we can probably deal with both of them at roughly the same time. Archie. You can move past the camp and attack Gondrod. I guess the question is, do we send in the clan, or do we send in Kolek as well? I mean, I guess if Kolek moves through Amble Peak, we can meet up with Kukar there. Yeah, that's probably the way to do it. Alright. Kolek, into regular stance, you cannot reach the other guy. Can you Huh. Do camps exert zones of control? It looks like they do. So you can move right here near him. You can't quite attack him. But Archie can. Oh, actually... Huh. Did the zone of control fail? Why did that happen? So Kolek was able to move there. Not complaining, mind you, but interesting. Well, either way, let's level up and let's attack once more. Actually, wait, we'll maybe want to move the other lords around. Yeah, keep going for Fill the Chalice, get that additional fire resistance. We do like our fire abilities. Harry, you now will probably want to go for Blade Master. I mean, for a single point, it's certainly worth our time. Still thinking about this. I'm actually starting to think that perhaps, even though Chaos Commander is great, especially since we can have 100% uptime on it, maybe Chaos Strategist is the way to go, just for the casualty replenishment rate. I really don't like getting bogged down by the inability to auto-resolve. It's, yeah, in certain places. Anyway, Kuchar, carefully move down this way. I want to see if Greasy's full stack is here. Obviously, if it appears, you won't be able to fight the full thing. I don't see it, though. Alright, so you're heading to Amble Peak. Stay in this territory, though, to make sure that you can heal up a little bit, or we could raid a little bit. What do we have it defending here at Amble Peak? I got some stuff. But you and Kolek should be able to take care of it. Anyway, you guys are good. Azazel, I would like you to go into summoning stance. Wrong first letter. No comment. And you will actually have to fight this because your army is relatively little and it's basically just marauders. So we'll fight that in a second. And then, just to take a look around, yeah, I really don't want these guys to build up an army and send it around to Pack Ice Bay while we're grabbing other stuff. Gulator, what can you reach? You can reach the Grayling Moot, you cannot reach the Monolith of Bjorkel, meaning we're going to Grayling Moot. Let's pop you right out here, Mr. Valmir. And Gulator will take Grayling and then move to Monolith of Bjorkel afterwards. And the heck is this? Heck grief, what do you... Oh no. Okay, that's actually concerning. These guys are down to 6 settlements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Serpent Jetty. I don't think Serpent Jetty is the Dark Fortress. Monolith of Catan. I think Monolith of Catan is the Dark Fortress, right? Which is currently owned by Hag Grief. Oh. Well. It looks like we're going to meet up with Malice soon. You better not be looking to take that Doomkeep. Oh, in fact, you just sacked it. Alright, you need to be destroyed. You need to be destroyed. Are you fighting him currently? No, you're just staying right beside him and not fighting. Well, actually, it's probably a good idea to fight him because we can take some of Malice's territories and transfer them to the Legion of Chaos and hopefully get the vassalization that way. I think one of the unfortunate things is that the territories that we gain are rather worthless, as in nobody's really willing to give us a lot of stuff for them, simply because they start at tier 1. Obviously, this is not worth fighting. You can keep the Wailing Banner, however, and pop it onto one of the doggos, let's say. They cause neither fear nor terror, so one of them carrying fear and terror into battle while they run around on the flanks is actually pretty good. Probably one of the better uses of the Wailing Banner, as so many of our monstrous and other frontliner units will cause fear and terror anyway. How to resolve this? Why would you hurt our poor Chaos Spawn? What the heck, game? That's so rude. We'll occupy you. Like so, and how's the chaos? Okay, that was gonna take a while to heal up. We need more Nurgle Authority, I guess. And we'll get Chaos Vanguard, or continue going through Chaos Vanguard, and continue going through Plague Father's Protection. Chaos Strategist. Again, this question comes along. I mean, the real important thing is to get Stench Ridden for Locus of Fecundity and the healing it offers. But we'll see. Oh. This little Marauder should probably be upgraded, but we're losing 3.2k per turn right now, and frankly, I'd rather be careful about that. Azazel. And we're gonna have to fight this. Is this a field battle? Pretty sure it is. Alright, Azazel, you're saving your points to unlock your super points, so... away you go, I guess. I mean, I guess we could get some more Marauders to ease this... No, you know what? We'll fight with what we have. Let's not. Yeah.
is your wish, but it is a foolish one.
Alrighty, I love how Azazel's color scheme matches the sky here. We got the faint sort of blue-purple glow in the background with the bluish skies, just like Azazel himself, almost like the weather is in support of him. Gonna have to face up against a few enemies. The tough ones are gonna be the units of Marauder champions here, who outclass the regular Marauders by an absolutely massive amount. Not quite double their melee defense, for example, but, well, nearly so. Much more armor, shielded, weapon strength 1.5 times as much. They also got rage on them, so they'll power up to 20% physical resistance. It's, well, it's gonna be tough for our basic Marauders to deal with that, so hopefully the various spawn can do a decent amount of the work. Speed this up a little bit as we take a little bit of a favorable position on top of this hill so that we have a slight elevation advantage. Going to start off with that Tormentor Rod on a Marauder Chieftain. And then we're going to drop Azazel down to start working away on him. I love that drop-down animation and the splash damage that it deals, sending a lot of enemy basic or enemy Marauders flying. And then the two can begin their duel. And though it looks like the enemy lord has called for help, and some Femir warriors, by the looks of it, not stalkers, but warriors, are moving in to attack Azazel. Gotta be a little bit wary of that because they have sundering armor and magical attacks on top of armor piercing. So it's going to be concerning, though at least Azazel doesn't have armor, so that portion of the rock, paper, scissorsing is wasted. There we go, a Lash of Slaanesh comes down just to help the rest of our forces as the rest of our army has engaged. The enemy Marauders of Slaanesh facing off against some Marauder horsemen who they managed to catch in the woods. The units of various spawn have moved in and are working to target the enemy Marauder champions in order to make sure that they don't rip our regular Marauders apart. Otherwise, we are engaged all over the map over here, but on the enemy backlines, or rather, the two units of enemy range units have been caught by a couple of other Marauders, which moved around the enemy's flanks. The other unit of Marauder champions similarly engaged by our Chaos Spawn to get that armor piercing going, and Azazel continuing to fight against the enemy Lord and the Femir Warriors. Going to drop that Tormentor Rod again, but we're going to have to be careful. Azazel's dropped to about half HP, so we're going to move some units of Marauders of Slaanesh in to distract the Femir Warriors and fight them a little bit, while Azazel flies away via liftoff and joins the fray against a few other units. We can make him help out by getting some rear charges into the into some of the enemy. Nice, I was just watching the oh my lord. Alright, it's been a while since I've seen his flying execution animation. I like Valkyria's better, but that one's pretty damn good. But it's very hard to top Valkyria's execution animation. Anyway, I got completely distracted by that. Use Azazel to rear charge enemies, though it looks like we won't be needing it for too much longer. The enemy lord has dropped to about 25% HP. The enemy range units are all broken. There's a unit of Marauder chariots still standing, but I think that might actually be it. As long as we chase everything else down, we just have to deal with the chariots, who are by themselves and fighting a unit of Marauders. I'm getting some nice air on them, but speaking of air, Azazel has arrived and he'll start whacking away at the Marauder chariots as well, who, upon sighting him, are going to be terrified and immediately shatter. Lovely. Oh, lovely. Maybe I should have sent Azazel to hunt down the chariots a little bit earlier to prevent them from doing as much damage, but at the end of the day, it still worked out. Alright, very nice again, and Azazel doing just fine so far without a full stack to rely upon. Of course he'll have one as soon as we can afford it. We are going to occupy the place, still no vassals to give this to, and just gotta make sure that we don't allow Wulfric to get destroyed over the next couple of turns for settlements. I might have to try to destroy his last 2 settlements at the same time, just to ensure that that's the case. Also, oh, they destroyed the Varg. Oh, that is so rude. We have to we're able to revive the Varg, yes? Because they're currently dead. Not that it'll matter all that much, but every single, well, we like numbers, high numbers of vassals. But anyway, you guys have moved. Archie, 'tis your turn to fight a much, much bigger battle now. So let's level up Mr. Chronicler here, who, as we are the elite, but it's not going to give us too much value right now. Let's go through scouting and then into the fire tree. And, kind of tempted to get a tech thief up and running as well. We need more research. And just to get all those gifts of chaos up and running earlier so that we get to good use or better use out of those souls. But anyway, that's a concept or a question for another time. Let's head to the camp. And that's a lot of nobblers to work our way through, but I'm sure we'll be able to just fine. Go. Alrighty, here we go, and ooh, my favorite lighting scheme, or at least one of them. I love this one because it's a very nice and visible. What the heck is that? Huh. Targeting Meal Chant. I guess Meal Chant is another SFO thing, because otherwise we probably wouldn't be seeing the targeting rune, but oh well. Oh, what can you do? Anyway, we go. Very nice, Archaon. Very nice. Sending the Nobblers flying plenty, and there are plenty of Nobblers, and that we're going to have to fight in this particular battle. Around 3,000 of them, I think. And a limited number of ogres as well. Archaon's going to get slowed down by those Nobbler trappers, but we'll continue hunting them as we move a decent amount of units, and specifically Harold Hammerstorm together with the aspiring champions and both giants will enter the enemy city by themselves to destroy everything that's in here, and Archaon will apply himself wherever needed. The rest of our army, 75% or so of our army, is situated here waiting for the enemy Noblar piles to arrive. We're going to hope that we can force this entire blob to attack the armored Chaos Trolls and the Chaos Warriors led by Prince Ograx, and then while they're distracted by Ograx's anvil, we move all of our Chaos Knights and Marauder horses behind them, preventing them from running off field. Now granted, what we could have done is deployed out here somewhere, moved into the enemy settlement, allowed these guys to enter the settlement, and then trapped them somewhere like here, but I was too lazy to do that, as it would take a little bit longer to maneuver around that way. And I'm reasonably sure we can still destroy the vast majority of the enemy, especially with Archaon's spell work. Alright, very nice Archaon, very nice. He's knocked out a fair few of those ogres, but now the giant and the aspiring champions have arrived. The Infinidaggers coming in from all of those Nobblers. And we're gonna make sure to hit them back with a nice Searing Doom. There we go, seeing a few of those ogres drop. Actually, 3 or 4 of them dropped from the Searing Doom. Very, very nice. Gotta watch out for that. The regular ogre bulls are fairly fragile, after all. The enemy, however, has its reinforcements now moving in. Our Hail Cannon will continue to fire and annoy the enemy, but we can probably leave the aspiring champions, giants, and Harry Hammer Smash in the fight here, while Archaon moves to help the rest of the army, mostly to add his spells rather than the sword. And I like that each of our force in this manner will have a sub-commander, because Harry is on foot, so he can command the aspiring champions and the eventual chosen / Chaos Warriors, while Ograx is on his mount and thus can command the cavalry, and then Archaon can do whatever he damn well pleases. Alright, well, here come the Nobblers. It's not only ogres, my lord. There's plenty of Nobblers on the field. We have our units of Marauder Horsemen working on them a little bit, though they're not going to do too much damage. We are going to allow them to move a little bit more forward and then get behind them to make sure they can't run off of the screen. The Knights of Tzeentch have arrived and are laying into those poor trappers. Tiny little Nobblers stand no chance against the onslaught of the Tzeentch Knights here. And of course the Swords of Chaos moving in to help out as well. Alrighty, and there we go. Archaon casts a burning head, leaving a bloody swath of destruction through the enemy army, and I believe causing like 4 of the enemy units to rout. 1, 2, 3, 4. In fact, that absolute... Wow, that was a massive spell. Oh yeah, he's up to 500 kills. A massive spell that horrifically damaged the enemy army, and by the looks of it, also managed to force a lot of the expendable units to cause the other expendable units to rout. Trolls are of course still or ogres are rather still fighting, and fighting trolls in fact, but by the looks of it not much longer. Our marauder horses and our knights have taken position behind the enemy army now, although a few of them are making sure that the hell cannon remains safe from ogres and from nobblers, who did move in to try to help out a little bit against those chaos dwarfs. Can't wait to get our own Chaos Dwarf units. Gotta make sure that we're able to do that. And with that, by the looks of it, the enemy army will finally rout. Our lord, the enemy lord defeated by Ograx here. Who's the Slaughter Master now? Down you go, fella. Alright. And now it's just a matter of chasing down as many of the reinforcing units as we can, because while the Ogre Camps units will be destroyed, these guys were a reinforcing army. But we can do that off screen. Alright, there we go. Those guys got absolutely wrecked, but, well, we were expecting that considering they had so many of those nobblers, which just weren't going to do much, if anything. Playing early game Chaos is similar to that of Chaos Dwarfs or regular dwarfs or Cathay, in that you have units available with so much armor, and most factions lack early game armor piercing, and AI doesn't tend to build specifically armor piercing anyway to counteract, or at least doesn't do so well enough, so it struggles. Anyway, sacrifice those captives as we usually do. 2 losses. Why do a couple of you idiots always manage to get yourselves killed? I think it's just the Marauder Horse Masters, because they're relatively fragile. But hey, 2 of them got 20k damage, which beat both of the units of Chaos Knights, so and can't complain too much about that. Archaon up to 76, nearly 77k damage and 551 kills. That burning head through those lines of nobblers certainly worked for him. Alright, the camp will be destroyed. This little army, if it can be called that, remains. But we should be able to easily auto-resolve them. And ooh, we have the Severed Claw. I mean, in theory, we should give that to Village. Right now we can't afford it anyway, but yeah, it's a very, very nice, obnoxiously nice unit, in that it's such a difficult unit to kill, and since it'll get all the same buffs that the various other aspiring champions will get, it'll be very nice. But, you know, at 763 cost, we could get 7 Marauder units, or nearly so, for that price, and I think it's better to do that then. Anyway, Archaon, you can't move further, but you can do is go into raiding, and I guess Kolek can... he just barely too far, I think. Yeah, just a little bit. Oh well, Kolek go into channeling while Archaon raids. Hopefully Greasy is nearby, though I think the trade buffs or whatever it is that he gives aren't really things that we care that much about anyway. Just to double check, he wants peace now, but he doesn't want that vassalization yet. I'm hoping he can be subjugated. I don't know whether his faction can, but, well, I'm excited to find out. How close are we to that rusted branding iron? 7 turns. Getting there, slowly but surely. I wish we had more stuff that we probably wanted to spend souls on, but while there are a few things we could activate, like getting additional, like the portal glyph, and getting, well, actually we can't even get additional hell cannons as of yet. That's the main thing I want. I mean, Crown of Kings ain't bad either, but I still wouldn't take it over the casualty or punishment rate for Marauders, since we're very focused on them, or Shatterstone at this time, so neither one. Ignore the damage buildings. We'll double check quick deal, just in case there's something neat, but it doesn't look like there is. And we'll by and large ignore most of this in favor of forcing some more vassals. End turn. Vashnar. How about no to the defensive alliance? Become our vassal, damn it. Hopefully with the building and payment, and if we could get him to... I wonder if we need to pay him in order to get him to declare war on Hag Grief so that he struggles with malice a little bit. Maybe that's the way to do it. We'll have to consider that one as well. Alright, Archie and Kolek. Alright, so first of all, Kolek, you're going to grab Archie's 2 units of Chaos Trolls and keep them in your army instead. Then you're going to head directly to Amble Peak and meet up with Kuchar as you two will travel together for now. Archaon doesn't really need your help. I'm sure he'll be fine. Kuchar, you're going to move in here as well. And you don't really need to trade units, but can the two of you take this with an auto-resolve, considering it's, there's not much here? Yeah, looks like it can. It's gonna hurt our doggos and probably our skull cannon. Well, it hurt our doggos, but it didn't hurt our skull cannon, so I'm half right. Occupy the place. And that's another place, and you can go into channeling. That feels wrong for Khorne. Wait, are you able to enter the settlement? No. Alright, well then you two can just sit here for now. Archie, go into summoning and then head to the Valley of Horns. I wasn't originally gonna go so... Ow! There's Greasy. And Greasy barely has anything. He doesn't even really have an army. Oh, I think he just replaced the remnants of that army. I guess he was down anyway. Alright, take the Valley of Horns. I wonder if he'll go around or stay nearby. A Razor Standard, we can certainly use that. And Archie can actually keep that. We got the Mountains of Morn, and we'll immediately want to set up Exploit Vassals that will be trading this entire territory. Greasy. Minus 177, eh? Just to double check. 22.4, 22.4, 22.4. Okay, so those settlements aren't really worth anything, unfortunately. Well. I wonder if gold does anything for us. I guess we'll see. I don't remember. Azazel, you need to head to Doomkeep, which you just can't reach. Valmir also just can't reach it. Damn. Well, that's a shame, but you're going there anyway. It's still badly hurt. I guess we could raid it and hope that Malice doesn't come around and grab it before we do. You stay near it. Like so, but not so near that if Malice comes around that he can draw you into combat. Even if we say no, he might still want to do that. And Valmir, you're gonna go into March stance, and you're gonna go right beside Azazel, and you're gonna ferry his Spawn of Nurgle over to Gulator. Then, we will move Gulator over to the Monolith of Bjorkil Bloody Hand, and raid while we go. Alright, Svengor of the Cool. But the Cool are one of our servants. How dare you? You traitor to the Cool. You're not very cool is what I'm getting at. Anyway, oh, you're nearly done. Gonna build up that Spoils of War there as well, because we need it. And otherwise, there isn't much to do this turn. Let's double check the buildings, though, because it's been a while since I have. I can upgrade you to level 3, but it's all a little bit on the expensive side, and I'd rather ignore it. What's the faction-wide debuff that we get? Lots of control if it's really, really negative, but otherwise it's not horrible. You're fine, you are heading downward, but we'll ignore you for now. Bunch of little small settlements that we will trade away. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna give Yechich to you.
Straight to business. Where shall we raid next?
Wait, one second. If we take the Frozen Landing, we give that to you, and we take Volksgrad, and, well, we'll keep Volksgrad for ourselves, and Plusk is Wolfskaven, I assume? Yeah, just take the Etchich. 777, wait, just out of curiosity. The Rog, though we will betray you, if we trade you Yechich, how much money would you give us? 1410. You know what? It'll be a quick little auto-resolve, and I'd rather get that. So enjoy, Throg, enjoy. Just for a little while. I'd rather have the cash right now. Anyway, I believe that's all that we can do for this turn, since nobody is near anywhere, so we will end the turn and we will continue. Skip, 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 skip. And you... Well, we wouldn't be able to afford more Dragon Ogres, but we do want to keep an eye on them, because they're actually cheaper than Armored Chaos Trolls here. Skip. Or end turn, rather. Goldtooth, do you want to peace out? I'll bet you do. But it's your vassalage that we want. Or vassalization. Ah, they set up a Valley of Horns camp, but Greasy himself moved away. Probably the smart thing to do. Obviously, he wasn't going to have any chance against Archie. How much money did we get for... Ooh, Confed. Talisman of Preservation and the Brass Cleaver. Ooh, some nice stuff from researching 8 techs as well. Unlock Warband, upgrade Chaos Knights. It'll be a while before we can upgrade the horses there, but that's okay. The Writhing Fortress. Oh, I remember this one. Chen. Everybody says Chen. Alright. Talisman of Preservations. On Kolek or on Archie? I think on Archie for now and then on Kolek later. Because Kolek's a bigger target and bound to get badly damaged by various ranged weapons, and we can put the Brass Cleaver on... Ogrex already has it. Kolek has Star Crusher. Frankly, since Kolek's the most likely to be a Death Star, he's probably the one that we would put that on. But for now, we'll put the Brass Cleaver on you, and you can have a Talisman of Endurance. Go for it. I'll probably swap those around a little bit as we go as well. Anyway, you two travel together, go right to the edge of the territory so that you can hopefully hit this place, and then Kolek come along. Archaon's also at 18 out of 20 units, I believe. We have more Dragon Ogres here. Do you want to get any other units? I mean, I think we'll want another Marauder Horseman to get more Chaos Knights, because 5 might not be enough. It really depends on what we do with the rest of the army. Also, for now, Archaon, I guess take out this camp. It doesn't really cost these guys anything to get them up and running, but it's free money, free souls, free XP, etc. So just destroy it real quick with an auto-resolve. You won't be catching Greasy here. And you can give the Razor Standard to one of the Chaos Warriors, as it'll be more valuable to them than it will be to the Aspiring Champions auto-resolve. Now a little bit of damage, and oh wow, that was worth our time. Like 2.6k gold and 500 souls, very nice. Much more than I was expecting. Another Potion of Strength, game keeps giving us those. We cannot reach Greasy, and I don't think we're gonna chase him. I think it's a waste of time to bother. Juggernaut for Prince Ograx, you can hold on to that. Archie, you can go into ambush stance and stay here. What's the likelihood he goes for Valley of Horns? Low? I'm gonna say low, but who knows. It would be nice if we could destroy him, so that we don't have to watch out for him. And would you look at that? Draj, you have 5 territories. You should be pretty easy to subjugate. We just gotta be careful about accidentally destroying you. Next up is Azazel. Good, you and Valmir can take Doomkeep, so go here. And auto-resolve this in 1 second. Valmir can reach the XP. You can auto-resolve this. A little bit of damage and occupy. Fantastic. Another Dark Citadel for us, and Perfect Vigor for Azazel, and another Tormentor's Sword. Always nice to see. Probably a good thing to have in the Slaaneshi army, in fact. We'll repair the Doomkeep, and we'll immediately build the money thing. Raid trophies, and do we want to build... Do we want to build the corpse mound here? I mean, we probably still do. For the growth. Otherwise, growth is insanely slow in these things. And we're kind of reliant on growth via battles. In fact, if we're going to continue be reliant on growth via battles, we will probably want to build this thing up here. Cultist camp. And get that Nurgle gift as well, when we can. Otherwise, there's going to be a lot of stuff to be traded, but I want to see which lords we're going to vassalize before all of the Mountains of Morn get traded away. And the same thing with Norsca. Most of this is going to go back to Wulfric so that we can keep him reasonably strong. Also, Malice, how strong are you? And oh, you're only fighting Wulfric. I don't like that. And the reason I don't like that is we don't know when you're going to take the Serpent Jetty. Which you definitely are looking to do. We'll need to perhaps send... Oh, I didn't even notice this guy here. He's in March stance, we can't reach him. Valmir can't even reach him. Wait, can Valmir go into March stance and head into the Greyling Moot? He can. Can he defend the Greyling Moot? Maybe? I'm just going to say hope. Oh, well, Valmir. I was gonna ferry stuff over, but if yeah, if you need to defend this, then you need to defend this.
I see your heart.
I don't see how we can avoid that. And I guess we'll need to level something up. Another point in Spirit Leech aspect of the Dread Knight could be quite useful in this one rare instance. Massive amount of extra leadership as we fight. Dominating presence. And I really don't expect myself to usually get aspect of the Dread Knight, but we already have a basic version of it. And if we can't overcast it, there isn't as much point in it. Whereas Soulblight, more point, let's say. Let's go Soulblight. I knew I was gonna go Soulblight all along. Alrighty, Archaon, you're good. Gulator, I guess you're taking the Monolith of Bjorkil since he can't reach Svengor. To resolve that. And occupied. There we go. More dark fortresses. Ever more dark fortresses. Corpse Mound and trade trophies. Yeah, willing to be our vassal yet? No, not yet. Alright. I'm almost tempted to say we may want to besiege Troll Fjord and just sit there so that nobody else can kill him while we move somebody else to the Serpent Jetty to make sure that we do this right. The other option would have been to send Gulator up here, make sure that he takes Varg Camp and the Monolith of Catan, and that way these guys can't kill him, or at least are less likely to do so. But I guess it's not important either. Anyway, skip the rest of this, and I would like you to build the second level of this, Spoils of War. Gotta get that money up and running. And I think I guess we'll still want to build the Corpse Mound. Ugh. Gotta be careful about that cash. Double check diplomacy as well. Wintertooth wants a military alliance now, but pretty unlikely to be wanting to vassalize. Minus 186. Yeah, it's definitely the defensive alliance completely screwing us over, because everybody else is more or less willing. Though, let's see. And Wintertooth's at strength rank 87, but minus 186. For example, Legion of Kisses at strength rank 16, much, much stronger than Wolfric, and much more likely to be wanting to become our vassal. So yeah, I mean, probably should not have done that alliance in the first place, but I was hoping to avoid fighting him. Why did he have to take one more Dark Fortress than I was originally planning to allow him to do, I mean. Anyway, and end turn. End turn yet again. And, oh, it worked. Do we want to quickly see Archaon knock Greasy down? I can hear you guys thinking, yes, fight battle. Alright, we'll do this one manually, because it's not a real battle. I just want to see Archaon and Greasy throw hands a little bit, though it being an ambush, Greasy has even less of a chance. But hey, no complaints here. Run him down, Archie. Getting some nice duels, both Greasy and Kolick and Grimgor. Everybody you wanna fight. And you know what, Hellcannon, you're kind of gonna interfere with this. Let's just not. Let's put you knights forward here. The heroes with the knights. We'll have you guys on this side with some Chaos Warriors and some aspiring champions. Archaon, go for this, for the enemy lord, and I think that's good, right? Group 1, start deployment. Completely irrelevant battle, but, you know. Alright, Archie, activate Slayer of Kings, and this, and away we go. Alright, Greasy, hey, knights, don't interfere with Archie, please. He's just here and to enjoy this fight a little bit. Let's watch them whack away at each other in the same way that we watched Grimgor and Archie whack away at each other. And how are they doing, by the way? Greasy's lost about 25% HP. We should probably activate the Potion of Toughness to make sure that Archaon doesn't lose his HP. And Greasy's done. He is wavering and stuff. There we go. Get a few more hits in there. Right, Chaos Warriors are just stop it. Alright, there we go, and just like that, the battle's over. Alright, I probably should have auto-resolved that. I just wanted to see them hit each other at least a couple times. We need to run everything down, though. That has not changed. Alright, so I'm just going to speed this up and run them down. Hey, no. One of you needs to go after that. Alright, Greasy is done. You guys can chase this. And his army should be destroyed in a few seconds. You guys are all getting in each other's way, aren't you? Alright, just stop that. You can do better than that. Alright. Stop blocking each other. Alright, you turn off your range attacks, because I feel like you're probably going to hit more of our own units than you are of the enemy. And I think it's the Chaos Knights actually causing problems in blocking everybody, because they're relatively big models. Alright, the rest of this is done, right? Yeah, it looks good to me. 3, these units won't survive. Good. Probably. Alright, Greasy is down, and once again, one guy died. Okay, on 3 battles, I think 1 loss, and 2 losses. Okay. And it's probably one of the Marauder horses again, or perhaps one of the Marauder horses' javelins killed one of the Chaos Warriors. It's a distinct possibility as well. Alright, and it's still worth it in terms of money and souls rewards. Alright, Draj, you want military access? No. 61. I wonder how many Dark Fortresses you're holding. We'll leave you 1. Honestly, I kind of regret taking Uzkalak. Probably should have just left it to them. Throt is going to attack us sooner rather than later. But not to worry, I kind of want to fight Helpit anyway, because it seems like it'll be a nice fight. Valiant defeat, eh? Do we fight another little battle? I guess we'll fight another little battle. Valmir, this will be your moment to survive, and you know what, since this is your do or die moment with a lot of damage to all these units, let's do this little tiny cinematic. Alright, Valmir, my friend, you are called to battle once more. It looks like you will remain needed for now, and we'll see if you can hold these guys off. As to whether we will be able to, well, let's hope so. A lot of the enemy units are full health. Our Chaos Warriors are down to 1/4 of their HP and unit numbers, and what, 40% on our regular Marauders? Pretty iffy. Our units of Cav and stuff are in bad shape as well, but we do have access to magics and the enemy does not, so that's a pretty big difference, even if we do have a relatively small roster of spells here. We're going to move the Chaos Warriors into the ranks of the Marauders here, so that one can act as the other's meat shield and do damage. We're going to start with a Spirit Leech on the enemy lord, and then pop that Soul Blight on the blob of enemies. The Soul Blight will prevent the enemy from dishing out too much damage, hopefully, reducing their melee attack and melee and weapon damage rather by 25 and 8, which is okay. And will last a good 30 seconds. So hopefully, while the enemy charges in, and we can dish out a decent amount of damage before we have to fight on a relatively even footing. The enemy lord has charged through our ranks and actually gone after our lord, but after taking damage from a Spirit Leech, and is on top of that stuck in the middle of our formation. He won't be stuck for long though, as he didn't seem to like that at all, and we'll try to book it out of there. We're going to hit him with another Spirit Leech, and then we're going to get back in the fray. In the meantime, we have one of our doggos chasing down an enemy doggo unit, and our Marauder horseman moving in to hopefully help matters. And the fight continues, however. The Marauder berserkers are basically unharmed so far, and we'll need to work on those, while the fragile enemy Norscan Warhounds were the ones that took the brunt of our damage. Even the enemy range unit, the Marauder hunters with javelins, are relatively fine for now, but we'll see how long that lasts. Norscan Warhounds will return by the looks of it, and so will the Marauder chieftain, but hopefully we can hit him again with another Spirit Leech. And in the meantime, we need to deal with these berserkers as the biggest threat on the field. So we get around him, hit him in the back with another unit of Marauders as well as our lord, and hope that he can deal enough splash damage to heavily damage them before they can wreck our heavily damaged already infantry. Enemy lord is moving back into the fray. Here he comes, and here come those Marauders, and we have managed to drop down the enemy berserkers to, I didn't even see, nearly half HP. Not bad. And you are a brave chieftain, sir, trying to face off against a chaos sorcerer. hoping you can kill him perhaps before he can drop too many spells, but a few blows and it looks like you're going to run, and we're going to follow you up with a Spirit Leech as well. Enjoy that. In fact, to make sure you die, we'll be sending our Marauder horses to chase you down and chuck their javelins at you. Between that and the Spirit Leech, you should be dead. 136 HP. A couple of hits from those Marauder javelins, but it looks like the enemy has engaged in its chain route, as the breaking of the enemy lord has forced everybody else to break as well. Now we just need to make sure that he dies, ideally. Or perhaps I should have left him with like a tiny bit of HP, because this army won't be destroyed since we didn't chase the doggos down, and thus we'll have to go after it again. But oh well, not a big deal either way, I think. Chase down what we can and leave him just with the Norscan Warhounds. Alright, nice job, Valmir. Certainly not a battle that I was expecting this episode, but needs must, and it's nice to get these tiny little skirmishes on occasion. Alright, there we go. Looking a little desperate there, Wulfric. Looking a little desperate. We'll sacrifice the captives and Valmir will live to ferry another day. You want us to join a war? We do not want to, because soon we won't be friends anymore. You want us to military access, and frankly, we have to subjugate you as well, as soon as we send somebody up there to deal with you. So that'll be in a bit. Got that defeated Greasy trait. Don't care about the income and don't particularly care for the tariffs. And gotta be kidding me, he sent up another camp. Well, at least Archaon got seasoned campaigner now. I mean, I guess we'll just kill the camp too. It's free money, it's free XP, it's free everything. And it's no effort. And 2,000 gold, yeah, 1360 gold is pretty darn good. Though it did hurt one of our giants, sadly. And we got a forbidden rod out of it. Alright, that was pretty worth our time. Return to the Valley of Horns. We still got a great haul of Garisus and Karakatan and a bunch of other things here. But it looks like his faction is, or will soon, be done. Let's also send Kukar and Kolek down. And we're still, by the looks of it, managing to hold down the money, so that's not too bad. Kolek, you're gonna lead, I guess, rather than Kukar. And these two will stay together until one of them can have a full stack, and okay, you can move in to help. And you can switch to summoning stance. Very, very nice. And then I guess you can switch to camp stance, since only one of you can be in the Maugate. Out resolve, don't hurt the doggos. At first it hurt the poor doggos. Ah, game, why do you hate the doggos? Also, what do spices do for us? Chaos Trolls and Chaos Feral Manticores. And hey, a Magister for Kolek. Do we have a Magister on Archaon, though? No, we do not, and frankly, he's probably gonna need it. On the other hand, though, he has a lot of other things. I mean, the 1% upkeep reduction, maybe we can go without. It's nothing crazy. We'll take the Magister instead on you. Or do we steal the... I could steal the Norse Berserker for more campaign movement range as well. Archaon should in theory have the most battles and the most soul-gaining battles. But at the same time, we want him to move as far as we can. You know what, I'm still gonna say Norse Berserker is better. And... did it switch? Why do we have an extra slot? Huh? Did he... we gave the Banner of Rage to you. Why did you get the Banner of Rage? I didn't mean to do that. Don't do that. Okay, odd, but fine. The rest of you are fine as well. You are gonna stay here. Let's hope that we can... In fact... I have to wonder whether we bother with sending... You know what, maybe we'll have Archaon take the Great Hall and the Karakraktan. I suppose if we want to duel with Kugath, maybe we go down here and then send Archaon through the Elven territories. I mean, Kugath might be nice to vassalize, and then these guys can go up like this through the northern, north, south, or western territories, although they now have a lot of settlements it might be better to ignore them in favor of going back through Shangyang and then up to Village and Zatan, vassalizing them and returning to this nonsense. Though, to be fair, these guys will declare war on us. You guys let me know what you think about all that. Anyway, Azazel, you... Okay, Serpent Jetty is still not ours. You will want to go into March Stance and then try to follow this guy. We'll need to destroy him while Gulator loops around to Troll Fjord. Still a little bit of damage on you, but I should be able to take it. No guarantee that we'd be able to reach Troll Fjord, so I'll just go here. We'll still need to keep an eye on Serpent Jetty, though. Valmir, please attack. I don't... wait, go this way. Try to send him in such a way that Azazel can still reach him with the relatively limited movement he has left, like so. And ow, he didn't run. Never mind. That was all a horrible waste of time. Alright, then you can take the single unit from Azazel. Alright, Path to Glory for Valmir. I wasn't gonna make Valmir an actual lord. Trade that Nurglite spawn and then start moving around this way. Hamathane Frost, to where are you going? And then Valmir, you can channel, I guess, and then transfer those spawn, finally, to Gulator. We're only losing 2k per turn now, so maybe we get Azazel a few more Marauders to turn into Slaneshi Marauders as soon as we can. No, it won't be quite yet. At least Marauders are cheap and, well, effective at least for our purposes. Anyway, with that, I think we are very much running out of time, and maybe this is the time to call. I suppose we can end one more turn, and just to see if anything interesting happens. I guess also you, Chronicler, have... You have your Devotion to Tzeentch available. The question is... do we do it? I like the Mortal Prophet thing he has, magic item drop chance, and he will acquire it shortly. And the Partners in Chaos, Tune Tulgu is okay. I mean, it's a free Penumbral Pendulum, nothing crazy, but otherwise, it's pretty nice. However, if we don't devote you to Tzeentch, it'll feel like the third eye is wasted. Currently, you're a Fire Sorcerer. And I still want the ability to have both Flame Storm and Piercing Bolts of Burning in Archaon's army as well. Our decision. Keep him like this, or make him Tzeentchian. We probably don't want to waste 2 slots in Archaon's army for 2 mages, considering Archaon is more or less a mage himself. I'm still inclined to go Tzeentch, though, because Tzeentch will have his Vortex, his Gate of Tzeentch and stuff. And for... Infernal Gateway, and while he doesn't have Flamestorm, he has that little the little 3 mini moving vortexes thing, and frankly, Pink Fire is more spammable than Piercing Bolts of Burning there, and Blue Fire is okay as far as magic missiles go. I guess let me know what you think about this. Is it worth losing potentially really good boons to gain who knows what boons, including potentially bad boons? We'll lose some Coronate Authority, but I guess we don't really care about it here. But anyway, let's end the turn one more time, and then we will end the episode. Hey, if it isn't Kugath. Military access and stuff. I see become vassal, but that doesn't tell me as to whether you can be subjugated. You guys let me know about that, if anybody knows whether he can as well. Because I don't want to fight him if it's the case that he cannot be subjugated. Unlike the Legion of Chaos, but if like Exquisite Pain and like the other demonic factions he can, then we just fight him and make him submit. Allegiance for Bloody Sword or Fear of the Gods. You know what, I like the additional allegiance points gained, as soon we will be building a few outposts. And I think Bloody Sword is basically maxed out anyway in terms of allegiance, so let's demand more. Give us an extra 200 gold per turn or something along those lines. Anyway, with that, we're out of time, and I'm calling it here. Next time, we destroy or subjugate Greasus, depending on whether it's actually a possibility or not. Head down to Kugath while these two peel away, most likely, for the Dark Fortress at Shangyang, and then through to Nangao and towards Village and Co. We need Village on the field, and most likely, somebody suggested we, instead of sending Village through Cathay, we'll probably send him through one of the sea lanes to start work up here, so that we can try try to move towards Valkia from 2 different directions. I also see Wolfie has revived. And we'll probably destroy his faction / subjugated next time around. Just gonna have to be... Ah! Well, you're moving a Serpent Jetty. I don't like that. Actually, I don't like that at all. Do we ignore Wolfric here and head you to Serpent Jetty instead? It'll take 3 turns, damn it. Oh, you're causing problems here. And we can't borrow your army. You know what, I'll think about this and the way that we will deal with it, but that'll happen next time. Stay tuned for more Archaon. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, especially to Threshold. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.